Alright guys, this is another election update. If you've been keeping up with this map, and this is easy to find, it's just all you gotta do is Google election updates or Bing election updates, and it comes right up. And I want you to notice something, and this is something I've noticed already, but I haven't brought it up. I want you to notice something that's going on here, because there's a farce happening in this election. Now, it's not on Trump's side. I have something to share with you here in just a minute. Trump actually has played a really, really awesome chess move that is going to bring the Democrats' plans to naught. Now, please understand, this isn't about Republican and Democrat. This goes far beyond Republican and Democrat. This is Satan working his deal that he's trying to work. This is powers that be behind the scenes. This goes far beyond anything going on here on what we see. But this is what we have to use to talk about it. And you must understand that there are plays going on behind the scenes that have been working for the last couple thousand years that all culminate in this one moment right now. How do we know? Well, somebody brought up a point about the Psalm 90:10 prophecy as it pertains to our time frame here, talking about the 80 years would put us at 2028 exactly. Said, well, that means that the tribulation has to start in 2021 exactly. He goes, so does that still apply? I was like, yes, absolutely. But you must remember, God is sovereign. Now, God doesn't go outside of his prophecies. So if we have a prophecy that says this is what's going to happen and here's the time frame, it's going to be fulfilled like that. Because a lot of people are getting discouraged and they're running to other people trying to find comfort because they haven't seen the rapture yet. Well, that's because you're running to other people trying to get comfort, looking to rapture. Go to God's word. What does he tell you? Watch, don't fear, don't worry, don't doubt. How do you watch? Well, it's not going and looking for a date on the calendar. It's certainly not that. He never said that. He said, walk in faith, study my word, cleanse yourselves. You want to watch? Grow closer to him. And what he'll do is he'll take all these worries away from you. Does my flesh react to this? Yes. Does my spirit? Nope. I already know what's going to happen. See, when you grow closer and walk more in the spirit, you already know what's going to happen, and you don't have to worry about these things. He tells you what's going to happen. Now, here's little details that are hidden in what you're seeing on the screen right now that most people don't see. Notice how 2 of the red states, or the states Trump was leading in, have turned blue. Pennsylvania and Georgia. Yet, they haven't declared Biden the leader, the winner. Notice that his points haven't gone up. Now there's other numbers here that have changed. The amount that they're leading hasn't changed, or has changed, but the amount of electoral votes they have hasn't changed. Now, I want to point another thing out here that people aren't checking, because people look at this and go, oh, well, Biden's going to win. No. See, there's a lot of details and a lot of things going behind the scenes that people don't realize, but it's because they don't look. Now, watch this. So, Alaska is shaded red, but nothing's set in stone yet Trump has a commanding lead. They're only at 58% reporting. They're not done yet. It's going to be another couple of days before they're finished. However, in Georgia, they're 100% reported. Biden has a 0.02% lead. Why haven't they declared it? Don't think that's the deal? Okay, let's look over here. They're not done reporting yet. Biden's the leader. They're not done reporting yet. Biden's the leader. They're not done reporting yet. Biden's the leader. They're not done reporting, or they are done reporting. They're done reporting. They're not done reporting. Biden's the leader. So when you go through and you look at each state, not all states are done reporting, but they're declaring their leaders. Now, of course, in some of them he has a commanding lead, but they're saying he's won those states. Has he? Some of these states aren't finished reporting yet. Could it swing the other way? Yep. Just last night they found 100,000 Trump votes that were never counted, stashed in a closet. See, when you look a little closer, you see the shenanigans that are going on by the Democratic Party. But you got to look at every state. You see, there's a lot of states that are a long ways away from being done. Things could change very quickly. Yes, they could. Very quickly. Now, right now in Pennsylvania, they're at 96% reporting, and they're just a few percent off. Not even a few percent, really. There's less than a percent. Same in Georgia. Georgia now is claiming 100% reporting. Virginia's claiming 100% reporting. Why haven't they given it to him? Is it because his lead is so close? So you got to look at what's going on here. You got to look at the look. Texas isn't even done yet. There's still a ways to go before this is over. Now, why is that important? Why do we need to look at those percentages? Well, because if the Democrats have flooded, like what happened in Detroit, they've got video footage of after the voting center shut down, nobody was there counting votes. A van pulls up and unloads a bunch of coolers full of votes. And all of a sudden, Biden's votes jump up in that area, in that state. If nobody was counting, who was that? I mean, they have video footage of it happening. Actual lawyers for that center were outside and videotaped these people doing this. So if no one's there counting votes, how did his votes go up? They were done. It had been hours since anybody had been there. All of a sudden, they're pulling some shenanigans. Now that's happening in every state. These states here where Trump is in the lead, most likely it was because they just weren't able to get enough of them there. But what they did is they went and picked key battleground states and flooded them with votes. And I think it's funny that even in like a state like Nevada, they still, even after flooding the vote, they still couldn't get a good enough lead. Now, why is that important to know that? Something very interesting has happened that people didn't know about. And I want to thank Paul Woodward for bringing this up to me in an email. And I'm going to show you this video and link it in the description for you to go watch. And at a certain point in the video, they make a very interesting statement. I'm not going to play it for you because YouTube will shut it down, but you can go look at the link for yourself. See, we need to pay close attention here because what they're showing isn't the truth. It's not accurate yet. I'm telling you, it could be days or weeks before we see what's going on here. But Trump is doing the right thing, and he's standing up with integrity about dealing with it. And there are delegates in states that are like, this vote, we saw where this was going. We all voted for you, not Biden. Biden should not be winning. And they're like, we're joining this lawsuit with you. So there's a lot of stuff going on. If you haven't already done it, you can go to Map Just Updated. You can go to Donald J. Trump YouTube channel, and they're giving updates on what's going on that channel. And it's real easy to find. I've been posting stuff from it already on the community tab. But something interesting has happened. And Paul, thank you for showing me this. This is it's Supernatural Network with Sid Roth. I don't watch much of their stuff, but you go to the 8:02 minute mark, or just go to the 8-minute mark of the video. I'll link it in the description. And you listen to what Sid says and listen to what this guy elaborates on. On all the actual ballots, because the government sends the ballots out. And then everything goes from there. Whatever's left over, they send it in. Well, what's been happening is the Biden crew has been making their own ballots. Trump had a watermark put on those ballots, and the Democratic Party didn't know about it. So any legitimate ballot is going to have a watermark from the U.S. government. Illegitimate ballots won't. And it's going to be very easy for them to be able to tell what ballots are legitimate and what aren't. Now, they're going to have to fight hard to get this pushed through, but it will be very easy to tell who won. And it'll end up being a landslide victory for Trump. Now, I want to bring you guys back to 2016. And a lot of people still don't know this and don't believe this. I was declaring this back then on Facebook, one of the things that got me banned. I was declaring this back then, and then I went on Twitter and declared it on Twitter too. Got banned there too. But when they went through and did the popular vote, and they counted everything, and then they stopped the vote. They didn't post any more updates on it. Everybody bought what it said, that Hillary won the popular vote. In actuality, she didn't win the popular vote. Now you can go look this up. It may be hard to find, but you can go look this up. I covered it a couple years ago, way back before I was even doing videos here. When they actually went through and started to count out the votes, and they started finding the doubles, they were taking the doubles out. When they started finding the dead people, they took the dead people out. When they started finding votes from people from other countries that weren't even American citizens, they took those votes out. They did a complete count of all votes that had been collected in the 2016 election. When they were done, Trump won the electoral and the popular vote by a landslide. That's how much they tried to cushion this thing. And you saw their reaction. Hillary was like, oh, I got this in the bag. I don't have to worry about nothing. See, they thought that they had it so sewn up that they quit, that they didn't do any of their rallies in Ohio and Iowa. And that's why in 2016, Ohio and Iowa went red. You notice Ohio and Iowa went red this time too. They abandoned their people. Ohio and Iowa's always been blue states. They went red because their party abandoned them, because they were cheating. Now there's also a video clip out there of Biden admitting they have they're doing voter fraud. Very clearly, a clear admission. See, this is the time in history when the Christian needs to stand up and be as loud as possible and proclaim the truth. This is the time when the Christian needs to stand up, not only about Bible prophecy and about salvation, but about what's right and what's wrong. We have to stand up about what's right and wrong. God is watching you to see if you are going to have integrity and you are going to stand up for what you say you believe in. You can say you believe in whatever you want, but if you're a coward and you go hide in the couch and don't talk to anybody and don't say, oh, I don't have an opinion, or if you didn't bother to go vote, look, Jesus is already on the throne. We don't have to elect him to anything. This election is for what's going on here. And it is important that we play our part in what goes on here, because whoever is in the office is who we're going to have to deal with. Do you want someone like Biden who can't even articulate a clear sentence? Do you want someone who for 47 years has done nothing and achieved nothing? Oh, but he was vice president. Okay, what do you do? Name me an accomplishment. Name anything. See, he's a puppet. He's a puppet, and he'll do exactly what he's told to do. Donald Trump isn't. Kennedy, he was a puppet until he realized what was going on and decided, I'm not playing this game anymore. You saw what happened to him. They killed him. Lincoln, they've since found out that Lincoln was assassinated. Not by a random killer, but it was a plan. He decided not to play ball. How many people have been... Well, Reagan. Reagan was the last gunslinger. People say what they want about Reagan. Reagan was a great president. He was the last gunslinger this country had. He was willing to stand up for what was right. What'd they do? Tried to kill him. See, it's too visible now. They can't take Trump out. They're trying to get other people to do their dirty work. But you see, again, the same thing that happened in 2016 is happening now. They're desperately trying to steal this election. And they think they've got it all in the bag. But there's always somebody and something else playing a role in this, stopping it. In 2016, Trump shouldn't have won that election. Yet he did. This is a little-known story that people never heard. And it happened right here in Austin. They went down there and they were cleaning out the voting centers. And they went into the voting center. This is after the election was over. And they were cleaning everything out. Taking all the machines out. Getting all the totes out. Taking everything out. And they went in the back and started taking totes out. They found full totes. And what's in these totes? They opened them up. And they were all votes for Hillary Clinton that were never counted in. Thousands upon thousands. Upon further investigation, they found out every one of them, they were doubles and triples. Every one of them. There was no single vote in there. They were trying to flood the system and flood the vote. They caught people on film dumping handfuls of votes into election boxes. So when you have evidence to prove these things, people have to be willing to step up and to defend the evidence. Why are we not hearing a lot of people do that? Some of us are. That's why I started doing these election updates. Look at what's really going on here. That's why I'm doing this one now a little more extended, showing you a little more about what's happening. Look, go watch this video. The link will be in the description. Listen to what he says. If they watermarked it, that's no problem. They'll find out exactly what's going on. And I imagine Trump's going to win by a landslide. See, when you have a Democratic Party where a large portion of their people left them to vote Republican, which was clearly proclaimed weeks before the election, and even they're standing up going, this isn't right. How is he getting more votes? They've got vote counts in states that don't even have that many people. There are states that we have this many million votes, and there aren't even that many people in that state. They've got cities that have voted. This many people don't even live in this county. How is it that they're voted as being in this county? See, in my county, I can't go to another county and vote. I'm registered in this county. I have to vote here. So I had to go to a voting center here in this county. They're cheating. And people aren't willing to call it out. Well, we got some good people standing up here doing it. People with big microphones and loud voices, they're able to reach a lot of other people. Now, what part does a person like me play in this? Sharing this stuff, proclaiming this stuff, getting out there and telling people what the truth is and spreading it. I highly recommend you spread this video to as many people as you can. If they shut it down, go get this video on its Supernatural Network. Share their video. Links in the description. Talk to people. Tell them what's going on. Don't let them just have an opinion based in ignorance. Tell them the truth. Don't worry about hurting people's feelings. Don't worry about starting fights. When they start fights, you look them square in the eye and you tell them. And you think because you believe a lie that makes you better than me? No. The truth is the truth. You don't have to like it for it to be truth. Still the truth. Your party is cheating and you support them. That means you align with their cheating. That means you have no integrity. That means I can't put any trust or faith in you. You've lost my respect. You really want to get them, freeze them in their tracks? Tell them that. You've lost my respect. You can be my friend, my brother, my family member, whoever it is, but you've lost my respect because you're not willing to look at what the real evidence is and look at the truth because you're so blinded by your hatred for Donald Trump. Look, the time to be quiet and passive is over. We must stand up for what's right. We must stand up for what's true. If you are not talking to people about this stuff, if you are not being honest about where you stand and honest about what the truth is and looking it up and sharing it for yourself, you're part of the problem. Don't do that. Don't do that. You need to remember, as a Christian, God's watching you. Everything you do. Whether you're standing up for right or wrong is being recorded in His book. Remember what the Bible says? Get up. Stand for something or sit down and die for nothing. Because if Biden wins, America's over. It's still going to be over even if Trump wins. But there's a different scenario unfolding if he wins. Now, he's going to win because he has to. There's still prophecy that involves him. Clearly, there's still stuff that involves him. Now, if Biden wins, that's it. End of it. Done. You better just write it off. There will be no more America. I'm telling you, this is a fact. It's not a prophecy. Hello?
This is the business office of Guadalupe Regional Medical Center, contacting you with our new patient messaging service. We are calling with a courtesy reminder notice for...
All right. You okay over there, dog? So it's extremely important that we watch this and stand up for this and be open about this and not be passive. This is all being watched. He's watching to see who's going to stand up and who's not. He's watching to see who's going to blow the trumpet, who's going to sound the alarm, and who isn't. People want to give me grief saying that I'm not a watchman because I'm not watching dates on a calendar. Really? Go watch the video I did about what it is to be a watchman in Pride. Was it yesterday, I think? Day before yesterday? Watch that video. I give you the biblical description of those things. Are you willing to stand up for God? Are you willing to stand up for your fellow countrymen? See, not everybody joined the military and went and fought another country. Or fought for their country. But the people that didn't can fight here. And I run into people constantly. They're like, oh, yeah, I was going to do that and all that kind of stuff. Hey, you're fighting the good fight here. Look, what you did is no less important. What you're doing is no less important. You're fighting the good fight here. And people think I'm mocking them, and I'm telling them, no, I'm not mocking you. If everybody joins the military, who's going to be back here fighting the good fight? Somebody has to do it. My path led me there. But you can still stand up and fight for what's right here in this country. Are you willing to? Are you willing to lay your preconceived ideas and your pride and your anger and hatred aside? Look at the information to find out what's true and what's right instead of just believing what some nonsense somebody puts up there. And stand up for what's right. This is the time for the Christian, the true born-again believer, to make themselves known. This is the time for us to let our light shine. It is very important that everyone stands up. Because if you don't, you're going to be counted among the swine. If you don't stand up and be counted, what good is it? You're just going to fall in line and hope it comes out good? I'm telling you right now, it's not going to come out good. It's not. So it's time for us to wake up, folks. It's time for us to pay close attention to what's happening. Because the truth is coming out. And it's going to keep coming out. And it is up to us to defend it. It's our country, you know. God put us here for a reason. He gave us this nation for a reason. He gave us freedom and all the great blessings that most of the world doesn't have. Why would we not stand up and defend it and stand up for truth? Why would we not defend what we stand for? I don't care what was done by evil men. What do you stand for? And why won't you stand up and defend it?